There you go.
Hi,
Hey, how are you?
how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. So yeah, Zoom, Zoom and it's icky.
We've all been going through
Zoom is icky, but I had a backup plan for you if Zoom didn't let you in. I had a backup plan. Trust me.
it.
So I know your first name, but how do you pronounce it?
NaRon.
Numan. Okay, Numan. I'm going to get that straight. Numan. Okay, so Numan, how this is going to work is I'm going to obviously hit the record button. Obviously, I'm going to introduce you and I'm going to let you share your story with my fan base. And then I'm going to ask you a couple baseline questions about your podcast. And then I'm going to let you ask me a couple questions.
Okay, great.
So let's do this.
Let's do it. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Welcome to Ask When, everyone. Today I have Nuran with me. I was privileged and blessed and honored to be on his podcast, Walking to Victory. So please, please, please go check that one out. And this episode with Nuran will be out next Sunday. So a week after we record this. So, Ron, I'm going to let you take it away and let you share your story.
Thank you so much for having me, Win. First of all, I want to say Ask Win is a very, very great concept and great show. And I was privileged to have you on our show a few weeks ago, and the ratings were doing well, just like you said they would. uh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, because it's me. Because
yes,
it's
yes,
me.
because
Just
it's you.
like you guys, this is not my first time in the rodeo of podcasting. I've done over 13,000 episodes myself on this feed and been featured on every every single platform known to man that independent podcasters have created for me. So,
So thank you for coming on. I'm the host of Walk in Victory, and we're on Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, and over 12, 18 other different platforms, including Spotify, Google, um, YouTube, you name it. We're on your pod chasers. This is Phil bringing me lunch. Hey, Miss Wynn.
hey, hey, hey!
Our
Yes,
producers.
the fabulous Phil, who just
Yes.
walked back up stairs to you guys, and Phil helps Nuran produce Walking Victory. So if you hear Walking Victory, that's Phil helping him produce. And what I've told Phil is that he is welcome to make a guest appearance anytime he wants on Ask When, because what you guys don't understand is all producers are gold to us. My assistant slash my producer is gold to me. Phil is gold to Nuran because we can't do it without help.
Can. And we've been podcasting now for a little over a year. And we've watched this, especially during the pandemic, we've watched this birth of new podcasts come out of everyone's podcasting now.
Yeah.
And we, the strong survive, as you said, you've been out there for a long time. And podcasting has been really near and dear, and it's something that we take seriously. And we thank you for putting us on our platform. I'm also a pastor of a church, One Ministries. Um, I'm also a yoga instructor. I teach yoga and mindfulness, meditation to inner city youth. So we just left Lincoln Memorial Center this week. We did a peaceful protest, and we were out there just trying to get the word out for people who are least and lost, people who may have medical issues and can't get insurance and all of those things that are happening right before our eyes in this great old state of America. So
Vitamin, vitamin boys.
right before our
It was sad when my dad went into the hospital originally with undiagnosed lung cancer. He decided to watch the news. And of course, I'm like, dude, you can't watch the news. You're, you're on death's door. You have cancer, which I knew. No one else did. And I'm like, dude, why are you watching the news? You on death's door, but you still on news junkie. And it's sad because a lot of people are getting diagnosed with COVID or diagnosed with something else and then getting COVID, and then the medical system is turning them around. And the medical system turned me around by accident. And I went to a different doctor. I said, no, this is not COVID related. This is something else. And now I'm getting in the process of getting diagnosed with asthma, which, yeah, but since we have to be really, really careful of our medical system right now, and we have to be advocates for those who can't be advocates for themselves. So I thank you, Ron, for stepping out there and being an advocate.
thank you, man. Thank you. That means a lot. And I'm just excited to be able to share with the audience. I really respect the work that you do. A multiple author. I'm working on my first book for the last 3 years. I can't,
That's okay. That's
just,
okay. At least you put the pen somewhere. And so, Naran, I'm going to ask you what is your favorite episode? Yes, I know I just asked you to pick your favorite child in a sense, but what is your favorite episode you have done on your podcast?
I have two favorites. I'm gonna go back because I don't want to just say this because it was you, but there was one I had Michael Roberts over the summer when COVID first hit, and we talked about finances, and he's a billionaire, a black billionaire out of St. Louis, and he gave us some tips on how we can invest our money, and that was one of my favorites until, and I'm not saying this because of your audience, until I met you. Um, I was inspired by our interview because of the CP.
Because of the CP. Yes.
Because of, and
And yeah,
and
and I have been known to like podcast feeds, and other people have been known to like my podcast feeds, all depending on if they share. And so, and Ask Win, I didn't tell you guys this because I didn't realize it. Ask Win got mentioned in the newsletter, you guys. So now everyone's clicking to figure out what Ask Win is. And I was like, okay, well, that's because I've been known in the independent podcasting space. So we'll see what that happens. But thank you so much, Nuan, for saying that. But I wanted to ask you what made you start walking in victory.
well, it was Phil. Phil is, for those of you, my producer. He's 6'9", 200 plus pounds, right? And I'm like 5'10", but I put on my driver's ID. I'm 5'11". So Phil said, "You're gonna start a podcast," and he brought me into the basement, which we turned into a studio, and we brought the mics and we started. Um, I think it was important because as a preacher first, I always was talking about religious things, but there's so many other things that interest me: music, business, finances, and it's hard in church to get all of those things out. But on podcasts, I can talk about business, I can talk about religion, I can talk about race. So podcasting gave me a platform to really be able to discuss in a broader
Uh,
context.
And here's another idea, Nuan. You, since a lot of churches are closed and doing church Zoom meetings and church home church right now, um, you may want to use Walking in Victory as a supplement because someone may be listening to your sermon, but they, let's say your sermon is about disabilities and diversity. Well, they might want to understand a little bit more about disabilities and diversity. Well, you could hand the black entrepreneur, the billionaire, to your congregation, or you can hand me to your congregation. So that's why I'm saying I was thinking about this over the past 24 hours, knowing that you were coming on and knowing that I'm a woman of faith too. But and I was thinking, well, since a lot of people are doing home churches right now due to the whole world is shut down, including the church, yeah, you might want to use podcasting as a supplement to your sermon.
It's funny that you say that because we launched Walk in Victory Sunday service. so
Yeah.
we, so we have two podcasts, Walk in Victory and Walk in Victory Sunday service. Walk in Victory Sunday service is just the religious content where I take my sermons and I put them on podcasts. So thank you, and I'm going to actually bring you on for your testimony.
Okay. Because, yeah, because uh, I would love to do that. You may have to give me the other podcast too, because I want to see the religious side of you now, now that I've seen the normal everyday side of you. I mean, I have now been following you since we did the podcast.
Yeah, same thing. You know what? I took something from you, but I'm going to wait till I ask my question because I have a very specific question from
Ah,
five
yeah, you
us
do.
doing something
And
very specific.
Nuran, what is your favorite book?
My favorite book is um I have so many. All right. Um,
You can give me two. You can give me two favorite.
okay, so one is a religious book. Is the story of Martin Luther, not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther, the German, um, who who um, who took the church from the Catholicism and is the father of the Protestant faith. It's his autobiography. Uh, and my other favorite book, and this is Martin Luther's life, is an autobiography, and it's a great read if you're a nerd. And I'm a bit of a nerd. And my other favorite book was The Rain Man, like the old novel, The Rain Man.
The Rain Man.
Yes.
Jeez. I thought Nuran, I thought when I asked you, I thought you were going to say the Bible. I thought
That
you were going to say the Bible. I'm like
would have been
Rain
corny.
Man and
Rain, yeah,
Rain Man and Martin Luther. Uh,
two total different ends of the spectrum, but
That's a spectrum, but I love it. Rain Man and Martin Luther, as we said, Martin Luther is autobiography. Rain Man is just a good book in general.
yes, it's just a good book. It was very well written. The plot lines, because I get as I'm reading. I took my kids yesterday to a bookstore, a physical bookstore, and I made them buy books
Well, good,
because
good.
it's something about turning them pages, right? Like we read everything on our smartphones, but
Yeah.
it's nothing like turning them pages. Which I laughed at after I took them to the store. I got the email asking me what was my favorite book, and I was like, she just don't know. I just spent like an hour and a half with the kids in Barnes and Nobles.
Oh, I love it. 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 See, books, Barnes and Noble, and that's why I'm working with a publisher, you guys, because when you self publish, via Amazon and use the stupid free ISBN that only allows it in Amazon on Amazon's website. And nope, I want kids to read books, not read books on iPhones, but physically read books. It's the retired educator in me that I would hand my paperback books to nurses, educators, to pastors, to anyone that wants to learn about disabilities. I wrote that book before I started this multimedia career.
That's a great job.
So, Nuran, if you had to move and only take 5 things with you, and yes, your kids could come, what would they be?
Bible, then I would take my Bible.
Then you would take the Bible.
Not my favorite book. It's not they make the favorite books, but it would be there. My
Yeah.
Bible, um, a radio, because I listen to a lot of talk radio. My kids, my wife, and my mom. I'm a mother's boy. Like, if,
Does mom live with you?
no, she doesn't. But if the thought of not being able to, knowing that she's alive and not being able to see her again would kill me.
Yeah.
But I would have my, and then they wouldn't want to be around me because I'll be listening to talk radio all day.
Yeah. No, no, no. And I heard radio and tune in, which we're on,
That's
um, which Nuran and I on. I heard radio and tune in is the version of AM FM radio for podcasters.
you
Let's just
know,
do that.
one
AM FM radio for podcasters.
one day I sat in the house on Saturday afternoon and I listened to podcasts from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. There's a lot of talented podcasters out
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, there's. The list goes on and on. And so this wasn't my question on my list, but since you just said there's a lot of talent out there in the podcasting space, what podcast should the Ask Win team slash me start listening to?
Oh, there's a it's right here because I was just listening to it. This guy was brilliant. The complete creative.
The complete creative. I You're going to have to Facebook message me that and just the name of the podcast, and then I'll look it up.
Yeah, his name is Russell um, Novelty,
The
and
the complete creative.
yeah,
Ah,
he's very talented.
love it, love it. The complete creative. See, listen, there's another plug for you guys. After you go listen to Walking in Victory, the two podcasts of Walking in Victory, and then go listen to the Complete Creative, and then go listen to Ask Win. Binge on Ask Win if you please. But since you guys are already listening to Ask Win, I might as well throw two plugs in there for the price of one.
Thank you.
So, Nuran, what is your morning routine?
So when I get up in the morning, I pray and meditate. I do yoga 4 times a week for about an hour and a half. Um, and the other 3 times I just try to let my body rest. I try to get some ginger tea. I edit my podcast. Um, Keywords, if you don't understand, like this is the easy part, putting in the keywords and the descriptions and all of that stuff. So I set time out to do that. And I do some reading or listening to scriptures. Sometimes I listen to the scriptures while I'm doing my yoga. And then there's times when I feel like I need to read it.
Yeah.
And then I have my ginger tea.
Yeah, because listening to things, you can actually multitask
Yes.
while you're listening. whereas a YouTube show, you can't multitask. You
No.
have to watch the
Yes.
YouTube show, or actually in the old days, and I say the old days because we had old days back in March, you had to go to church on a Sunday morning and listen to the preacher or the sermon. But now, since everyone's doing home church, you can basically multitask while you're listening to scripture.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's important for me to stay grounded. And then finally, Mondays though, this is the great thing. My Mondays, like tomorrow, I binge watch TV.
Oh, good.
From the time I wake up till I can't watch no more. And then tomorrow night is Monday Night Football. I watch TV. Sometimes I'll watch a series and I'll just keep watching it until they run out.
Self-care. Self-care on Monday.
Yes, Monday.
Self-care on Monday. It's good. You gotta fit self-care in.
Yeah.
So I know you have questions for me,
Yes, I do.
but as we wrap this podcast up, what are those questions?
One, when did you start saying good morning to everyone on your Facebook? I think that was brilliant. Like you just say good morning.
I started saying good morning, and for those of you that don't follow me on Facebook, you, my fan base now knows if I don't say good morning, I get a DM saying you didn't say good morning.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, I wasn't busy. I so I have to now say good morning to everyone. No, and the reason why I started doing that is because not because I don't need any more fan base, I don't need any more love. I have a great support system. It's just to let people know that they're loved. Good morning. I'm here. You can talk to me. You can phone call me. Yes, I said phone call me, aka pick up the phone and call me. You can DM me, you can text me. Yes, I'm here. Let's have a great day. Let's kick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off to a great start. And then you can go about your daily dailies on 5 days a week or 7 days a week. But as long as I say good morning, my fan base typically says good morning back,
Yes.
and then they go out there. But as long as I put something out there that says, "Look, I'm here. I'm open to having you guys talk to me," that's perfectly fine. It makes me happy as Glam.
That's good. And then my last question, because I know we're wrapping up. On a business level, I noticed that you do consultations
Yes.
on other podcasts. What made you develop that? Because most people they don't want to share their secrets.
Uh,
What made you develop that consultation?
I started that, and so many people haven't taken me up on it. Surprise, surprise.
Well,
Um, but um, have not taken me up on it. But it's still out there, and I started that because I was following one of my mentors in the podcasting space who I have been blessed and honored to follow, blessed and honored to meet before the pandemic, blessed and honored to be on his podcast. I interviewed him way back when, and then he interviewed me, and then I finally got to meet him in person. Ugh, and I almost fangirled, and he knew it. He knew it. He knew it. He knew it. And so, the reason why I started the consulting end of it is because when I started this, I had no one. When I published my book, I had no one to I had no one to turn to. Now I do. I had, when I started my podcast, and believe it or not, as of tomorrow, as of tomorrow, October 5th, my podcast is going back to its roots because I started this podcast as a YouTube show. I Winds of Women of Wisdom is still available on YouTube. I just don't have any content right now up there, but because I translated it into a podcast. But as of October 5th, 2020, I have now hooked up with an international broadcasting team who's brought me on to do my own talk show, Yippee Skippy. So
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. And 10 years later, um, the podcast has now gone full circle into back to YouTube, even though the podcast will be still existing as a podcast. Because if this podcast went away, people would be screaming at me. People would be screaming at me, especially during these trying times now. I mean, people need a little bit of hope. They need a little bit of help. They just need all of us, all of our independent content creators, the different voices out there to inspire them and to mask up, to go to work, inspire them as I walk, as I are in the hospitals alone. Thank you very much, because the hospitals, you're not allowed to have any visitors in there, so you might as well stick, if you have time, you might as well bring a pair of headphones and stick Walking to Victory or Sunday sermons in the ears, or Ask the Win, or any of the podcasts, because I want to be a hope. I want to be a light. I want to be what I can be from the basis of my home in Aspen, Colorado.
And you are that. Thank you so very much for having me.
And Nuan, where can people find you, and where can people get a hold of you if they choose to be on Walking in the Victory, or just want to check out Walking in the Victory?
So Walk in Victory, we're on Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, as I said before, Google Plus, anywhere that you can do. We're even on Alexa app. So you can say, Alexa,
Yeah,
play Walk in Victory,
yeah,
and play the latest episode, and you can binge listen. Also, I'm a bit not, I'm not narcissistic. It's just easy to find on all of social media. NaRon Tillman. So on Twitter is NaRon Tillman, which I have to get into tweeting. I don't really tweet often. Instagram is NaRon Tillman. Um, Facebook is NaRon Tillman. And on Facebook, our ministry is One Ministries. So we have over 10,000 followers on our One Ministries page. You can become one of them. One Ministries is not a group, it's a business page. And every morning we give out inspirational
yeah.
messages, and we're just doing the work.
Yeah, you're just doing the work like
Yes,
we are, and we don't want the congratulations. We'll sit here with God and do our work, and then um, God will send us back good karma. God sent me to you. I interviewed you. Um, and I'm always looking for guests, you guys. You may not know this, but I'm always looking for a guest. I'm always looking for inspirational people on my YouTube show, and then on my podcast. My
and I
podcast
am.
is
I'm sorry
my
to cut.
own, and then my YouTube show, I've teamed up with international podcasting team, as I said, but we're always looking for guests.
Yes, and I want to
So,
make that clear too. If anybody's listening, you have a great story. Our we kind of lead towards leadership or entrepreneurship. But if you just have a good story and you want to be a guest, you can email me at Tillman, Tillman, at one ministries dot church, not dot com, Tillman at one ministries dot church, or simple Gmail, Tillman229 at gmail.com. And just tell us your story. We're always looking to interview people and we want to
Yeah.
bring it to the world.
Yeah, no. And yeah, and I am open and willing to talk about my experience, which I did on Walking in Victory. I am open and willing to talk about my experience about emotionally and being physically abused. Yeah, that was a fun one. You guys know that one, and um, but I'm always open to being interviewed about that one because I think most women and men are silent when it comes to that one, and so I I have, you guys don't know this, and maybe it will be a story for a podcast. You guys don't know why I decided to come out and share my story about being emotionally and physically abused. And that was interesting when God said, okay, okay, you got this. Now you've got to do something about it. And so you guys thought, oh, Win just came out. No, Win, it took healing, and um it just took a lot of healing and a lot of soul searching and a lot of playing. And then finally, when it broke, I was sitting in a very unexpected place, and God placed something on my heart. And it's like, okay. And then, and then God did another 360 on me. He, I lost my job due to COVID, and me not, I didn't get COVID, but I lost my job in the process of the world shutting down. And so God sent me on a business trip the week before COVID happened. I landed trying on an airplane back from Orlando, Florida. I couldn't figure out why. And then by the time I got to Chicago, I figured out why. And God goes, well, I put this door. You didn't see it. You just you just carried on in education, and now I put a big rock in front of this door, aka COVID. Do you want to move the rock and open up the door to journalism, or stay depressed and lonely? And so I moved the rock and then opened up the door to journalism.
And then here you are.
Yeah, yeah, here I am, and I've been doing that since March. So, Nuran, I want to thank you for coming on Ask Win. And yeah, let's stay in touch.
We
And I
will.
want to thank you guys for supporting me. And it's going to be a wild ride. I'm just going to tell you that, as Win is going on a little bit of a hiatus in
Oh,
recording, just because I am working on a major project that is, and it has nothing to do with school, by the way. I'm also in journalism school, and this project has nothing to do with school. But this project, if I don't concentrate on it, it will get on top of me, and I can't. There's too many moving parts. I can't um focus on Ask when right now, but Athwin is going on a little bit of a hiatus. Soon, I will let you guys know when Athwin goes on a recording hiatus. But as soon as I close the door, literally, on this project, I will pick up where I left off on Ask Win. I just decided to put S Win on the back burner just for a little bit, but I do have content up until May of 2021. So it's
Oh,
not like you're going to get tired of Ask Win the same episode over and over again, but I'll try and check in when I can. But just to let you guys know, and um, we'll record a mini episode today that goes out tomorrow on October 5th about why Ask Win is taking mini, mini hiatus. Not a big hiatus. It's not going bye bye. It's taking a mini hiatus just so I can concentrate on this huge project. And then the once the mini hiatus is over, Ask Win will be back. So thanks you guys for your support, and thank you, NaRon, for coming on. Again, I'm with NaRon from Walk in Victory, and you guys have to go check that out. Have to go check my episode out, and always contact NaRon. And please, 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 please leave a review in Apple Podcast for NaRon or myself, and please just leave a review. It helps with the eyeballs, and please subscribe and share this episode out, share Walking Victory out, because we want people to subscribe and stay listening and stay loyal. And please, everyone, be safe with COVID. And yeah, that's all I have to say. And I will catch you guys later. Bye, you guys.
hi.